You don't want to have people that can do everything that you do. You want to have people that can do what you can't do the best, the very best, and to make sure everything's in harmony. Because if you're in a rock band and someone's guitar is out of tune, even, you're not going to get hired again. You're not going to get a record contract. I mean, everything has to be in harmony.
Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresham from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Michele Blood of 𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗡.com. Michele, super excited to have you on the show.
I am so happy to be on this show. I love what you're doing, and I think it's really brilliant. It allows people to be independent and have a really good life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that's a lot in alignment with what you do. So I'm super excited to hear about all the awesome things you're doing and how you're actually executing on that to make that happen for so many people. But before we do that, I want to read a little bit more about Michele so you can hear about some of the awesome things that she's doing. And Michele is a successful, multi-talented lady. Michele was a rock singer in Australia, and after a near fatal car accident, she created positive affirmation songs, which not only healed her body, but also took her to the worldwide success. These affirmation songs affected the left and right hemispheres of the brain, lyrics left hemisphere, and melody and music right hemisphere, so that the new positive messages go straight to the subconscious mind. This is why millions of people worldwide have downloaded her affirmation power songs. These songs cover healing, success, money, love, joy, confidence, and they uplift the person immediately. In addition to creating a magnet to success products and seminars worldwide, her public mystical success events have been held in over 26 countries. Michele has co-written and created over 80 books, music CDs, audio programs, TV shows, and videos on positive thought, mind transformation, and meditation. Michele, you're doing so many awesome things. I'm excited to have you on the show.
I'm exhausted hearing about it.
Hey, you're exhausted. I can't imagine. If I'm exhausted, I can't imagine if you're exhausted too. So super excited to have you on the show. Are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
Oh, I am so ready. I am CEO ready.
Let's make it happen. So before we get into the exhaustion of all the awesome things that you're doing, I wanted to rewind the clock a little bit. I know I touched on it a little bit. Hear a little bit more on how you got started, what I like to call your CEO story.
Well, it's a really great, unique story, Gresham, because I was a rock singer in Australia. I'd been a singer since I was a little kid on TV, and eventually got a really great rock band after years of trying different members, different guitarists, and we did really well. At one stage, we toured for 7 years straight without a break.
Wow.
We worked touring with the Pretenders, and I mean, so many, In Excess, you name it, every band you can imagine. And so on our way home from a gig, I was in a truck with the musical equipment, and the truck driver fell asleep at the wheel and went into a telephone pole. And so as the passenger, all the musical equipment went into me.
Oh, wow.
And I was just, so much damage done to my body. I don't want anyone to lose their breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So we won't talk about that. But it was really horrific. And so that is how my journey and my true purpose in life actually began, was because of a near fatal car accident. So people cannot always imagine if the worst thing isn't ever the worst thing. We can always come through and have our consciousness be shifted. So that's how my story began.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Of course, I love that you said that your true purpose in life happened at that moment. And I think so many times we forget, like a lot of times when I started the blog and the podcast and all those things, I actually tore my Achilles tendon. So it was actually less than ideal time. And I think so many times we don't look at those instances until sometimes we fast forward a lot of years and realize, had that not happened, maybe I wouldn't be doing or leaning more into the purpose that we ultimately have.
Yep. It's just it's really, really fascinating to me, the human spirit, what we're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So all of that happened, and you talked about, the true purpose that you have in life. Could you drill down a little bit more into that, what that looks like and how that has kind of manifested itself?
Well, I started doing affirmations in the hospital because someone gave me Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale with that beautiful baritone voice speaking the book. But I wasn't really interested in male entrepreneurs in the 1920s in America. I'm a female Australian rock singer and songwriter. Anyway, so I loved that Napoleon Hill actually healed his son who was born deaf by going into that little infant boy's room every night and doing affirmations, autosuggestion, telling him that you can hear perfectly, you're healed, you grow up to be a great man, just doing this autosuggestion. The little boy ended up with 30% of his hearing by the time he was 4, went to a normal hearing school, and ended up being a great, huge entrepreneur in the hearing aid industry. And so hearing that, even though that wasn't in my periphery, affirmations and motivational stuff, because I was motivated. I was living a life of a dream. I'd become very successful. I loved what I did. So I wasn't a person who required motivation. I motivated my whole band. We were always excited. We loved what we did, energized, and did it very, very well, very disciplined. So I knew that an affirmation I knew my discipline in my mind, it would work, it would heal me. So I ended up singing the affirmations, because with an affirmation, I am healed, I know I am, and you're not. And the doctors are telling you, you probably never will be completely healed. The doubting mind immediately spits it out, says, no, that's absolute rubbish. I'm not going to believe you. And so as a singer-songwriter, I had an epiphany. You can't get a song or a jingle out of your head, even if you want to. That's why kids learn the ABCs through song. So I started singing my affirmations, ended up not just with miraculous healing from the singing affirmations, because as you said in the bio, the lyrics go into the left side of the brain, the music and melody, the right side, it surpasses the doubting mind, goes straight into the subconscious mind immediately, where it manifests what it is that you're saying. You don't have to emotionalize it anymore. So all those gifts and all that experience led me to my divine purpose. But there's one thing that I would love to share with your audience, and that is, if you can be disciplined enough to treat your business, you as the CEO, you as the entrepreneur, as if it is a rock band. Because when you manage a rock band and you're the lead singer of the rock band, you have to make sure, if you can look at your business like this, when you bring people in, you've got, I don't play guitar, I hire a guitarist. You don't want to have people that can do everything that you do. You want to have people that can do what you can't do the best, the very best, and to make sure everything's in harmony. Because if you're in a rock band and someone's guitar is out of tune, even, you're not going to get hired again. You're not going to get a record contract. I mean, everything has to be in harmony. And if you can look at your business and all the different areas of your business as, how can I make this all be in tune? So it's all in harmony. And you really look at it. You cannot afford to feel sorry for someone if they're doing a bad job. You just can't afford to have them work with you. You'll just end up being this amazing team, and you'll just skyrocket.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate you sharing that so much. And I think that's a great, kind of nugget to remind ourselves of, and have drawn that parallel of the rock band and the metaphor to be able to understand how that manifests itself in so many different of the aspects within the business. So let me ask you this: what would you consider to be what I like to call a CEO hack? So this is a little bit more of an app. It could be a book or something from your book or a habit that you have, but what's something you think makes you more effective and efficient?
Well, one of the things that besides obviously keeping myself in a state of mind of clarity, and I teach meditation and I meditate and I work out. I think it's really important to stay as healthy as you can, because your mind needs to be bright and smart. It's got to be on. So meditation is really great to keep you in harmony. It slows your blood pressure down. I mean, it gives you a strong immune system. And when you want to have a successful business, you have to be the star of it in your health. It's really important to be as healthy as you can in body, mind, and spirit. And I think, if people can do that, I exercise. Well, since I've been, when we started with the lockdown, I started doing my Pilates classes via Zoom, and I still do that. I don't need to now, but I prefer it because I can do everything from where I am. So I think you just got to digest. But one of the things that I've been doing for a long, long time is I write a daily list the night before. I write down what I'm grateful for, always just saying thank you. Just not I'm so grateful, but thank you for my beautiful life. Thank you. Just thank you. And I write down all the things that are going to happen the next day, because as you sleep, the divine presence, that omnipotent, omniscient wisdom is at work, and it goes before you and prepares the way. So if you've written it down the day before, it's sort of like self-propels you to do it. The people that you need to speak to, they'll end up calling you. Magic happens when you write a list every night. I do it 7 nights a week.
I love that. I appreciate you sharing that so much, and I think that even we talked about the intentionality of before we started this, of I am, and just how powerful that is with the words that you use. And I think that having the practicality of that, and especially having that gratitude that you're ending the day and to some degree even starting the next day with, allows you to kind of create that momentum, that energy towards, I think, really phenomenal things, and probably high vibrations as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not always easy running your own business, but it's a beautiful way to live. It's beautiful to be independent and not have to say, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full. It grows. One of the things I love about people that have decided to be an entrepreneur and really go for it is it strengthens their character, and it also strengthens their consciousness. They end up in a higher vibration. So people can think that their initial investment in wanting to do it is because of money. But if you look at it as growing your consciousness, as growing, who you are, who can you be of service to in your business? Not what can I get, but what can I give? Always having that in your mind, sincerely in your mind, will really take you straight to the top of the mountain.
Nice. I love it. So I wanted to ask you now my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So Michele, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Freedom. That's it. Freedom. Freedom to do what you want to do, to be able to assist people where you want to assist them, where you can give. You don't have to get permission to give, where you can be creative and brave. And it's just, it's a life of freedom and discipline, but that's not a bad word. That's not a dirty word. Discipline is just being able to tell yourself you're going to do something and being able to do it, carrying that out. Even if you feel scared, do it scared.
Yeah, and that's extremely powerful when you start to, because I think a lot of times people might cringe when they hear the word discipline, but I love how you, for lack of a better term, reframe that and have an understanding. Because I always say the systems and the processes will set you free, and it doesn't necessarily mean that those things are confining you. It allows you to really not worry about those things, so that you can be present, so that you can make the impact that you ultimately hope to have. So I love that freedom, because it speaks so deeply to that freedom, that ability to kind of create and make things and make an impact and on the terms and the way that we see fit.
You're a pretty smart bloke, huh?
I do okay every now and then. Hey, my biggest thing, the smartest thing I do is have phenomenal guests on the show. So I truly appreciate you for being, one of those phenomenal guests. So for people that want to get a hold of you and hear about all the awesome things you're doing, what's the best way for them to do that? And let us know if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and listeners know as well, Sue.
Well, you must have the best listeners, because, as I said, you're a cool bloke. And in Australian, of course, that means a man. Anyway, We've put together something for your amazing CEOs, entrepreneurs, those who are thinking about going into business and they want to vibrate at a faster vibration and have much, much more positivity and success in their consciousness, so that their doubting mind doesn't let them stop doing what they know they can do. And so we've put together this thing. Where is it? Oh, right in front of me. mydivinesuccess.com/CEO, mydivinesuccess.com/CEO. Over $300 of my best-selling products. Some of them I've done with Bob Proctor, my latest book, Magic of Affirmation Power, music CDs, events, a free month and the mystical experience, so that you can get to meet other entrepreneurs and wonderful, positive, like-minded people from over 26 countries. And so that's all of that for $10. because I
Nice.
really know that when you go through these programs and the books, and I've even got audio book there so that you don't have to, even if you don't like reading a book, which I don't know why anyone wouldn't. I love the real thing, don't you? Anyway, it's just really great. mydivinesuccess.com/CEO.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I truly appreciate you, Michele. We will have the links and information in the show notes so that everybody can follow up and definitely take advantage of that phenomenal offer from the author and the musician and the artist as well too. But I appreciate you so much for the work that you do. Of course, making that offer, because I think you touched on the impact that Think and Grow Rich have. I think we sometimes don't realize that the things that we put into our mind and that we speak have a manifestation into our lives. So I love the work that you do. Of course, the talent that you have as well too, and the way that you've been able to kind of frame those into running your own race in the best way that you can. So I appreciate you for doing that. Of course, appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast, powered by CB Nation and Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at 𝗟𝗡𝗥𝗡.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Don't forget to schedule your complimentary digital marketing consultation at blue16media.com. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless Jr. Thank you for listening.